During the week, a weird thing happened. A petition with 87,000 signatures was deemed less newsworthy than a petition with only 1,200 signatures. Why is that? Let's find out. So the petition Don't Divide Us.nz, which had over 87,000 signatures, was presented last Wednesday. Yep, 87,269. That's a big petition. And the petition says, we oppose the no jab, no job policy, which will create a divided New Zealand. We call on the government to allow the use of COVID rapid antigen testing as an alternative for unvaccinated Kiwis to access workplaces, schools, marae, large gatherings and places of worship. We were looking for a reasonable and workable middle ground that doesn't divide the country, that enables people to keep their careers, go to church, participate in sport, and that doesn't set family members against each other. And a recent nationwide poll actually found significant support from New Zealanders for regular testing to be allowed as an option so that Kiwis could keep their job. Just 27% were opposed to testing being used as an alternative rather than being vaccinated to keep your job. And it appears that the government's slowly understanding the benefits of rapid antigen testing, with its use now being approved for travellers leaving Auckland and used for businesses in New Zealand, domestic travel. Even the government-appointed independent review group, headed by Sir Brian Roche, told the government that the availability of rapid antigen testing is critical. And in many countries, rapid antigen testing for COVID-19 is widespread. They cost a fraction of other tests. They don't need medical professionals to administer. They give you a response within 15 minutes. So whether a person is vaccinated or not, it gives the most current status of a person as to whether they might have the virus and be able to share the virus. And especially with our new understanding of the waning immunity of the vaccine, it seems that testing and then isolation at home, if required, is an important component, important tool for all New Zealanders moving forward. Seems much fairer and doesn't divide us. Now, before we look at this petition of 87,000, let's check another petition that was presented during the week. And it was about MIQ and how unfair that is. And there were 23,000 signatures, and News Talk ZB had it as a lead item on their breakfast news. We then saw the New Zealand Herald presenting it, talking about this 23,000 petition. We also had One News, Grounded Kiwis, hand in 23,000 signature petition. It was on News Hub as well with video. It was featured on their 6 o'clock news, and Radio New Zealand also reported it and also had video. So no shortage of the reporting. Then the following day was our petition of 87,000. Here we are, 87,269 signatures. A significant petition. I mean, when you get over 80,000, you expect a lot of coverage. Well, here is the media coverage from the presentation of our petition. Yep, that's right. Absolutely nothing. Oh, hang on. Radio New Zealand did report another petition that was presented on the same day. Here it is. It's about car parks in Wellington's Thorndon Quay. And apparently they're taking away some car parks, and there was so many signatures, there were 1,200. So 1,200 is newsworthy, 87,000 isn't. Anyway, we did our presentation of the petition, and we found an MP who was willing to accept it, and that was ACT MP David Seymour. And so my co-sponsor, Dr. Christine Clark, and I presented it. Let me just show you a little excerpt from the presentation.
This petition calls on the government to allow the use of COVID rapid antigen testing as an alternative for unvaccinated Kiwis. And in fact, with our new understanding of the waning immunity of the vaccine, then we believe that testing and isolation is actually an important component for all New Zealanders moving forward. It seems much fairer, and it doesn't divide us. Christine, did you want to make a comment?
I don't understand why the government is so adamant that we can't have this. You know, they've allowed some into aged care facilities, only a few hundred, by the way, just to test if their workers have got symptoms, which they tell us you shouldn't actually test for anyway. They've allowed it for people to escape Auckland, but they haven't allowed the ordinary Joe Blogs public to have access to it. So why are they controlling us like this? Why are they actually promoting division in our country? Why are they saying that the simple little test, which will cost about $10, 15 minutes of your time is painless, is incredibly accurate. Why are they saying we can't have that and let our people go back to work, go to their churches and enjoy the New Zealand we used to enjoy? And why isn't the media screaming about this? The media used to represent the normal person, and now they're not.
Well, that's a very good question from Dr. Christine Clark, isn't it? But, go back to the question, why isn't rapid testing not being extended to workers, families and worshippers when we've already given it the green light for travelling out of Auckland, for use in businesses, for travelling on Air New Zealand? Well, here's the answer. The government has been killing it off as much as possible, although they're finding it harder to do as time progresses and as we understand more about the virus and about the long-term efficacy of the vaccine. But the government has driven the narrative, and any variation or challenge on that narrative has been quickly dismissed. Whether it's right or wrong, it's just been dismissed. How could they do that so easily, you may ask? Well, here's a little hint.
Free to visit at any time to clarify any rumour you may hear, covid19.govt.nz. Otherwise, dismiss anything else. We will continue to be your single source of truth. We will provide information frequently. We will share everything we can, everything else you see, a grain of salt. And so I really ask people to focus on that.
So the government is the only source, the source of truth. That's a concerning statement. And of course, it means that no other narrative can come into play. And so they've been able to kill off the rapid antigen testing as an option because they have said, well, only we have the full source of information. And unfortunately, the media have been the mouthpiece of the government on this issue. It's even admitted by the politicians.
That messaging around the dangers of COVID pretty diligently for a full 2-week period of sustained propaganda.
We've also seen the spread of misinformation on COVID-19, particularly through social media. We had to act, so we made it a priority to establish a public interest journalism fund to help our media continue to produce stories that keep New Zealanders informed.
So they're helping the media to push the narrative that the government is pushing because the government is the source of all truth, apparently. That's concerning. I mean, I think we deserve correct information, but they should be allowing discussion and debate and even dissension, because truth will always win through. But sadly, the media have compliantly been aiding the agenda to limit the awareness and availability of rapid antigen testing. There is no clearer proof than their silence on such a massive petition. And, that makes me feel uneasy. I want to trust the health authorities. I want to be able to rely on information. But given their stunning silence on this petition, what else are we not being told?